I'm Sue Ann Pittman. I attend Irving Baptist Fellowship. My husband's the pastor, so I do more than attend there, you probably will realize. This session is going to be preschool crafts. And then I have some extra things I'm going to show you at the end. The thing sitting in front of me is some things that I have learned to do teaching crafts, Vacation Bible School, whether it's children or preschoolers. I use tables and no chairs because they trip over the side. This one's too close to that one. This one hits, if they're standing, they don't, it looks like they would move more about, but they have their own little designated area that way. So this is a lid off of a paper box. Every good church uses a lot of paper boxes, and so you use the lid off of it. Now this one's been covered, and it's been to several years of Vacation Bible School. In it right now, I would have this on the center of the table, whether it's the round table or the 6-foot tables or even the 4-foot tables. This is a gathering place. When one session is over, I ask the kids to put the stuff back in there. Here are some suggestions of things that I use. This has markers in it, pencils, whatever that stands up, paint brushes, whatever I'm going to be using for this craft that I'm about to do today. I get all that set out. I put 4 to 6 of these in a box. Everybody doesn't have to have their set of markers or their set of crayons or their pair of scissors. Juice cans is something else I've used, and now that I buy Hershey's Cocoa this size, we use this for the markers, and then you can put the lid on it, and when I pack it up, that it doesn't all fall out. Let's see. This right here is something. This is a juice bottle. So just anything. I don't want to carry my own mugs up there, or if you use plastic glasses, they turn over. So just something that has a good firm bottom, and they can take them out, color with them, whatever, and when this session is over, they set them back in my box. This one is full of scissors, and I would never give the kids big scissors, but I'm not in a classroom anymore, so I don't have access to little scissors. But you can put these on the table, and they could be in the box, or you can set them out and put one at this end and one at this end. These are from the dollar store, and they're about 2 for $1. This size is. If you get this size, let's see. Yeah, this size. These are like 3 for $1. Now this is something else that I can use instead of that, and this is what mushrooms come in at the Aldi grocery store. So you just keep those. You have to have rolls of tape, Scotch tape. They can be put in this. They can be put out on the table. Now preschoolers aren't as much as children, but again, I can have everything for this craft in this box. And when it comes time for craft, I can just reach and get it. I can set it on the table, and everything I need for today's craft that I'm about to do will be in this box of boxes. Another thing I have found is this is from Dollar Tree, and glue will go in here, and I can put 6 bottles of glue in this. So this is my glue. So every day I can get glue. And one of the cool things about this is it can sit on the side like that. I know that's not a great coolness, but you know, I like to have cool things because I'm a preschool teacher. These are Velveeta containers. This one has paintbrushes in. So one of the crafts is to paint with watercolor. So watercolors come with one paintbrush, but Johnny and Mary both could use it if you had extra paintbrushes. So you put a deal of paintbrushes in it so they can reach and get them. But that's just covered with the bulletin board paper. You don't have to cover it, but you know, if you eat a lot of queso, save these. And they're really sturdy. I store things in them a lot. I think that covers that, but this is what we do in our craft room. This is a handled bag. Get them from the grocery store, and you ask your congregation and everybody they know to bring these, because you want one of these every day for every child. So in kindergarten, we planned for 40. We've only had 36 at the most, but that was scary because I was afraid we were going to have more than 40. So this comes in, and it has their name on it. They put their name on it. So we know ever how he writes his name, we're going to have one of these at the place when he comes in. He comes into my class, and I put 3 on each side of a 6-foot table, and I can put 2 at each end if I have that many. But I like to put 3 at each. So when they come in, this is sitting here. This is sitting in the middle of the table, and they know to write their name on there. So by Wednesday, they come in, they write their name on there. And then, they can decorate or whatever. But what's going to happen at the end of crafts, which is I work on a 20-minute rotation. So after 20 minutes, he's going to have to put whatever he's just made in this bag. Miss Debbie has these over here on another table. And so she is going to collect these. She's going to go collect whatever they did in Bible study, whatever they did in missions, and she's going to put them all in this bag that had their name on it. Because they've written it so she can match it. We tried to write their names off of the roll. Well, Johnny goes by Tony. So he tells me his name's Tony. Well, Tony's not on this list, but Johnny is. So we get to the end and it's got Tony and Johnny. So you go to Tony. Do you know who Johnny is? Yeah, that's my first name. Okay, then that's how we match those up. So that's just a tip that we've learned through the years. Another tip that I think is really good is this is what we use to put their crafts on. If they're painting something, if they're gluing something, they've got this bag at their place with their name on it. And so then we have a paper plate we give them. These are little cheapy, we call them paper plates. They come in 2 sizes. This is hard to find, but you can do a lot with it. So again, they can put their name on here. A lot of the crafts this year are dry for a few hours, dry for 3 days, at my church, we send everything home today because they're just visiting with grandma, and grandma just got them for Monday. So that is some helpful hints for you to present and have crafts ready, because part of getting crafts is preparation. So make sure you're prepared, and then we'll get started with VBS crafts for preschoolers. Okay, now we're ready for Destination Dig crafts for preschoolers. Now, some of the things for preschoolers are a little different than the ones for children. Some are the same, some are similar. Day 1 is Celebrate Jesus. It's really the story of the birth of Jesus. This is I'm going to get this out of the way. This is a pillowcase. This is a pillowcase. Now, in my brain, you cut out this and this because it shows you how to cut it out somewhat. And I was going to try to glue that together because when you open that up, it's going to be shaped like a bag. I was going to try to glue that together. I could not get that concept. But my husband, who doesn't have much artistic abilities, or he used to not anyway, I can't say that anymore. Anyway, this is a bag, a celebration bag, and our 4-year-old granddaughter, she decorated that. Notice the 4 on there because she's 4 now. But this is a bag for them to carry. It's kind of a little big, but it works for them. Beach bag, pajama bag, whatever. This particular pillowcase came from the Dollar Tree. It's a satin pillowcase. They had dark colored ones. They had light colored ones. Not all of them were satin, but we thought the lighter color would be best for coloring on with markers or decorating, whatever. So that is the celebration bag. Yeah, the next thing is just too cool. And I do this at Christmas all the time with the kids. Take Christmas paper, cut it in squares or shapes or whatever. Or your older preschoolers would be able to cut that, so you give them a larger piece. And then you end up decorating it with stickers, Christmas stickers. And you can buy Christmas stickers year-round. Probably you could buy Christmas stickers in the summer better than you can find what you need in the Christmas time. This is, let me think, etched in foam is what the name of this craft is. Now, I will tell you what the relief, this is a relief from that, and it's archaeological looking. However, it doesn't show up very well. This is you take a pencil on a foam plate, You etch it in there, and they have to be very careful not to go all the way through because, preschoolers, they don't know their strength when they're poking holes in something. So you make a design, and then you get a roller, a paint roller. I used a 3-inch paint roller. You roll paint over it, and then you put it on here, and it's a relief. Now, I did this right before Easter, and the one that has a big round circle and 2 big ears, you could perfectly tell what it was. But not so much on this, but it still gives like a real good little pattern. This is called a scroll jar, or you have to eat a can of potato chips to make it, whichever you want to call it. This design on here was where you put glue on a piece of paper and you let it dry, which I advanced preparation, and then they color over it with a crayon, and it makes the design. The instruction says, make sure when you tape it on there that you use the same crayon where it will be the exact same color. I use clear tape, invisible tape. The preschoolers are not going to care. Parents, yes, but preschoolers don't. And inside this jar, maybe an extra little snack, is a scroll. I put a rubber band on it. What preschooler, it says use yarn or cord and let them tie it up. My 4-year-old can't tie it up, but she can put a rubber band on it. So then I just had, you just let them write whatever. This is the free art. There's a free art for each day, but it can be rolled up. In a scroll, they've seen a scroll. If they've been in church, they've seen a scroll and know that that's the Bible that Jesus could have used or that he taught from is more like it. So that takes care of Monday. Now, I say Monday, this curriculum is written day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. Some churches use this in different programs, and on Wednesday night, they do the first one, day 1, they do the second one. So it's not like you have to do it a certain way. You can do 3 days, you can do 4 days, but it just depends on what you want or what you need. The church I help, they do on Sunday morning, they will do day 1. And so then we do 4 days, and then we have family night on the 4th night, and then by Friday we're exhausted. Kits are available for preschoolers and children's. This particular one is for both. Now, I have a lady who has no clue about crafts, and she will admit that, and I get her to do a craft set every year. My deal is if she can do it, the kids can do it. She is the sweetest little thing ever, and she loves doing it, but she gets so frustrated. She lost a bee off of one of the other crafts. She was just so worried. I'm like, well, I'll just make another bee. No big deal to me. She goes, oh, you're so nice. Well, 2 days later, she called me. She's found the bee. But this is a sunglass holder. It holds their sunglasses, and then it can clip on to their backpack or, their belt loop or whatever, and they won't lose them. They can carry them. That'll be cool. But it comes with the stickers. It comes with the cord. However, it's going to be very difficult for little preschoolers to thread that through there. Plastic yarn needles that are about that long are going to be the best thing for it. Now, you could either go in and out or you could wrap it around. It doesn't really matter. This is the way they recommended it, but you could do the in and out. It'd work just as well. This right here, I did not put the water in it, but this is going to be mud, and you're looking through mud trying to find things. I didn't add the water because it's going to be really messy. So what you will do is you will lay this down on a picture, and it will lay out, and then they can draw with their finger. This has to go home. If you don't send their stuff home till Friday, this one you send home if you do that. It is flour, cocoa, and salt. Okay? You put water in there, and that is going to look like mud. Smell like chocolate, but it'll look like mud. And then this is a vase and a piece of pottery. You cut it out of cardboard or some stiff paper, And I taped it on here with painter's tape, and then we got chalk, colored chalk, and went all the way around the edge of it. And then the secret to it is to spray it with hairspray. You can buy hairspray at the dollar store. Grandma's got some she don't use anymore, whatever. It won't matter what kind, but that'll help it from rubbing off. If not, it's going to get all over their clothes. Okay, and this is the coolest one for this day. This is their handprint, and this is the old salt dough, which is flour, salt, and water. However, it admits 3 to 5 days to dry. I made this Friday before last, and this past Wednesday, it wasn't squishy in the middle. So it took that long. So again, if you know these kids, that's fine. But the kids we have, we won't see those kids at church anymore. So we painted it in her favorite color. You could put stones on it. You could do anything with it. But her mother's getting these for Mother's Day. She doesn't know that, but that'll be a cute gift for Mama to have. They're handprints. So that is the Blind Man Day, Story Day. Now, there's, I think, 4 crafts per day for the preschoolers. So you get 4 choices. Not necessarily do you do all 4 of them. If you have 10 kids, there's no way you're going to get to do all 4 of them. If you have 2 little girls that come in and they're just so nice and can sit and do it, you might get 4 done and whatever else they want to do. This is the craft that the lady lost the bee, but she found it. She was so excited. This is a water bottle holder, and I think this is something they really use. And something I haven't been telling y'all about is logo stickers. I know they're preschoolers, but I like to put a logo sticker. These are from Lifeway. There's about 10 sheets, and there's this many on a sheet for like $5. So very inexpensive. But if they see that logo, because they're going to see it on their shirts, they're going to see it on the screen, they're going to see it in everything we do. So they will recognize that. So the water bottle, this is a kit. Probably you could do it simply enough. But again, you got to line the holes up. And a way you could do that easier would be to line the hole, to put glue stick on each one, squish it together, and then put the holes in it. And that way, they would already be lined up and kind of stuck together and be easier for the preschoolers. I will warn you, on the kits, sometimes they leave out a piece. And I don't always open the kit and say, okay, well, they said this is in here, this is in here, this is in it. Oh, well, there's supposed to be a 48-inch string cord and a 36-inch cord. Well, mine just had this one cord. So if you had a 36-inch cord additionally, it would be up here, and they could put it on their shoulders and carry it. Kids are going to have water bottles, whether they're archaeologists or if they're out playing or they go to the ball game or whatever. They're going to need water. So this would be a cool way. And on the back, I know it says I love VBS, but I'd put a logo sticker because they could see that. And this is what one of those needles looks like. It's just a plastic needle. Hobby Lobby has them. There's 3 in a package for like $2, maybe even less. But Hobby Lobby runs those half price, so it would be $1 for 3. Store them. You'll use them again for another project. Okay, pinch pot. This is Model Magic. I got 3. It suggests a 2-inch ball. So I got 3 out of one package of that. And the small package was $3. So you can buy a large package that you probably get more and be more efficient. They decorate it with a toothpick. And you know, this has got divots and not so divoted here. But again, I want the preschooler to do it. I don't want to smear it in like it's all perfect and send it home. I want it something they did because they'll be proud of it. And they'll, you know, I would probably put a piece of candy or something in here for them when they got home, or even a little jewel, you know. Just something. Okay, now this is one of the coolest things ever. I'm not going to be able to show you on this, but this is a lantern. Cut it out of cardstock. Well, my copier that I use won't run this good cardstock, so we had to put the paper on the front, glue it to the cardstock, cut it out. It works. You put, you laminate like I used to a long time ago before we had laminators in churches, with clear contact paper again, Dollar Tree has clear contact paper. You cover the whole entire thing. You lay the lantern on top of it. And then this is yellow and, yellow and orange fire in this lantern. Okay? So then you lay it down, and then you get glow-in-the-dark paint, which I've never found tempera paint, but we used acrylic paint. I put a paint shirt on her and all that before she did it. Then she did the glow-in-the-dark paint, and it has to dry a day. So there again, you can start it one day and you have to finish it. You could probably do it and not put the glow-in-the-dark paint, and it'll be just as well, because I put it up to the light, ran in the closet, and I'm like, yeah, the yellow is glowing. But it wasn't that major of a thing. So just to FYI, you could probably do it without the glow-in-the-dark paints. This is a tape relief is what I would call it, and it has some fancy name, but you give them strips of tape. You just tear off strips of tape. You could put them on the table, and they could take them off and put them on their paper. And then this is where they use those paintbrushes I was talking about earlier with the watercolors. I would get a large thing, at least this big, with water in it. Not something small they can dump over. You have this big thing with water in it and let them use the watercolor. Then you let it dry, which it doesn't take very long for it to dry, and then you pull it off. And then this is where the tape was covering, and that's from around it. So that's kind of cool. Water, it's painting without having a big mess of paint. So that is day 3. I'll throw in here real quick, Lifeway has their own little theme stickers, and I always like to get these little theme stickers, because when I go to Hobby Lobby, I have to buy these 2 on one and these 2 on one and something similar to that, and that doesn't really go, so I can't use the rest of them. So they're theme stickers, and they're usually really good for the theme or for the Bible verse to tell you those kind of things. This is the best thing. You've got to send this home where they will see that every day if you can. Okay, day 4. Let's see, emoji plates. I never did figure out how this had to do with archaeological, but my 4-year-olds really like this. You know, she played, she was a puppet, and she talked to this one, she talked to that one. That's those cheapy paper plates. This is tongue depressors or craft sticks. Then you just draw faces on them. Very inexpensive, but she really liked it, and she got into it. So this is, well, let me do that. There we go. This is an I Spy bottle. It's got jewels. It's got beads, just whatever you want to put in it. This is a whole package of dollar store sand. But I was just making one. So if you're going to make these, which kids will love these, you just put whatever you can get in that hole that they can find that would have to do with archaeological. Now, if you want to put shards of pottery or whatever, they're going to kind of get the concept, but not as much as the older child would. This has duct tape around it. I didn't glue it on or anything because the instructions didn't say that. This is the label that goes on there. And if you will see, you just cut that. If I put this on here, and this isn't laminated, it's not taped, it's going to rip. Just a FYI. So come up with another way of putting the tag on it, or you don't have to put a tag on it. They'll be able to seek and find. So that is in the curriculum, but this is not gonna, it's just gonna rip it apart. So I didn't even put it on there. Okay, this was a cool thing. This was called sand art. The teacher is to write something with glue, and the kids are to write something with glue. And then you sprinkle it with colored salt. Like I just put food coloring in, it gave proportions. 3 drops of food coloring to a half a cup of salt. Something like that. It would do for several. You could do different colors, but it's going to mix. So I do one color. You can either do blue or you can do red. Give them those options. And I have it in here because it sheds. will have salt everywhere. So if you're going to make this craft, which I think the kids like it, it's like doing glitter without glitter. So I think it'd be fun and they would enjoy it. Very inexpensive, but kind of cool. This right here is either called Play-Doh Surprise, I think in preschool, and in children's it is called Mystery Play-Doh. It's just your regular Play-Doh except no coloring, and it has the old-time Kool-Aid unsweetened powder in it. So the surprise is they're all going to look similar till you put the water in it. And it says put warm water in it. Well, I've got a row of 14 kids. How am I going to get warm water in all of these? I have not tried it with cold water to see it would work. But they just mash this together and the color will come out and they will see like this is going to be fruit punch and raspberry. So it's going to be that color. It takes 2 packages of that, some flour and salt, and it makes 3 bags. It's kind of inexpensive except for Kool-Aid. So you want to come up with something less expensive because what church doesn't have a budget? Whether it's small church, large church, they all have a budget of how much we can spend on Vacation Bible School. Now we are to day 5, and I know I get to day 5 and we're doing something simple and easy because I'm going to have all that other packed up because when Bible school's over on Thursday, I want to leave because I got to come back for family night that night, and I'm already tired from the week. But nevertheless, here's what we made. A scroll. Now, I put a pipe cleaner on there because a preschooler can deal with a pipe cleaner. Again, this said twine or thread or yarn. Well, preschoolers can't do that, and the teachers will spend all day working on it. This is craft paper. If you don't have craft paper, you can use those sacks from the grocery store, and this will be thicker. And so you can just let them use stickers or markers or whatever. They can't read it. You can't read it, but they can tell you what it says, or that's the story of whatever. So then they roll it up, and then they can put a pipe cleaner around it. Pipe cleaners are pretty cheap. They're usually about 2 or 3 cents a piece. So then they have their own little scroll. And, you put it under the arm like they did in Jesus' day. So it's cute when you present it to them like that. Okay, this is another craft kit, and I really like this craft kit. Lifeway usually has a picture frame. You can put the logo, you can put anything here if you're not going to do their pictures. But this is a craft kit. It's called a chard, where you've got those pieces of pottery. I'm having trouble with that. And I suggested you go to the thrift store and maybe purchase 3 or 4 kinds of little saucers and put them in a pillowcase and hit them with a hammer and make little shards out of them, and you could put on here, and it'd be much more authentic. This is much easier, much cleaner, and on Friday, this may be what you need. And they've got the picture frame on Friday, so if you're going to take pictures, you will want to do that early in the week. Now, I know Johnny's going to show up on just Friday because that's the only day his daddy had him. So go ahead and have something to put in there, even if it's a logo, something, because his picture won't be in there and he may be upset. But that's what happens. We have to deal with that. And then the cutest thing ever is this little chariot. This is in the adults, yeah, probably the adults too. That is in the children and the preschool. It is a kit. And I'd recommend if you're going to do that, you do the kit because it is much cutting out, preciseness. But really, that's just paper and a little cord. It has a dowel rod that runs through. It has a wheel that comes with it, and you glue the bead on there. Not much that the kids put together, but they color it and color the designs on the chariot. Okay, that is all the crafts, but I have a few little extra things. You just can't do exactly what it says and get by with it. This is the last thing for day 5, and I'm sorry I didn't pull it out. But it says, allow them to make a building of just stuff. So Here's just stuff. And I will say this came off and it goes on top. So it's like they just create whatever they want to. And it says, take a picture of it and send it to Mom. Well, why not send all this home with them? They've got that big old bag. This is what they created out of what you gave them. So, it's just kind of preschool, whatever they create. Here are some extra things, and one of these is one of the things I'm going to be doing with kindergartners. That's just a flower pot, and I know they have some in storage, so I'm going to go get them before somebody else does. They can decorate it with markers, not washable markers. It'll have to be Sharpies or something that's more permanent. And I don't really like to use Sharpies, but we do sometime, and you may want to do this on Friday, and then the parents can't say anything to you because they won't be seeing you. But that's one way. These are little smaller pots. They're just different ideas. And this is another one she painted. So then, you could put the logo sticker. You could put I love VBS, that kind of stuff on there. And then, of course, you've been Destination Dig all week. You got to paint rocks or color rocks or do something with rocks. River rocks are pretty cheap. Just to buy a 20-pound bag of them is not very much. But you have to watch because there'll be a lot of dark ones and they're not too good to color on. So these are just some extra ideas that you might be able to have or do with. This is kinetic sand. One of my favorite things. I've not introduced my grandchildren to this yet because they'll drive me crazy. It is kinetic sand. This was white at one time, and you put coloring in it, color it. What I want to do is put those jewels in here, and I probably won't give them this large of a deal. I might let them dig with this and pick out the stones or whatever else I might have in here. You can get this at Michael's, Hobby Lobby. It just comes all kinds of ways. But I think this is the time to use kinetic sand, or play sand would do the same, and you can buy a big bag of it for pretty reasonable if you need that much. Okay. This is some little pots and little pottery we made. I covered them with masking tape. This is just a little cheapy plastic paper bowl that these match the dishes at my house. I have plates to match and saucers to match. So they're all just, they're the thicker cardboard paper. These are just bottles, and what I did was cover them with the masking tape, and then we went over them with a brown crayon. And this is a tan crayon, but it gives the cracked effect. It kind of has a more authentic look. Let's see. These right here. I had the privilege, I guess, since we knew Destination Dig was coming, I went to a archaeological lab because my daughter was doing some work for them, and I just kind of walked in. They had tables set up, and they had these boxes similar to these. They were a little more square, and then they had some boxes like this. They would have one little tiny piece in here. They would have it labeled where they found it, what they thought it went to, how old they thought it was, and all that. And they had them in little clear things like these. These are obviously little take-home things. So something we see all the time could kind of be authentic for something like that. All right, dollar store, here we come. I try to keep the dollar store in business, but during Vacation Bible School, you can just find all kinds of stuff to do in there. Now, I was able to find these at the Dollar Tree, in Grapevine, actually. These are brown, and I have a tan one. And I just thought maybe previously you could draw a line down the center and let them glue buttons on it or jewels on it, maybe make a pocket out of it. We have the logo in black and white form that you can print. Let them have that. They're going to have seen that logo all week long. So let them draw their own little logo on there. But for $1 for them to have a t-shirt, I thought that was probably a pretty good buy. Here's the other color, which is an off-white sand. or a 10, I guess I should say. Also, one of the things that I did that was so authentic for this was we went to Murfreesboro, Arkansas during spring break and dug for diamonds. Now, my family used to go to Arkansas and for vacation. My dad and his brothers fished, and we camped, and da-da-da. We never went and dug for diamonds. And this is the only diamond mine that's open to the public to dig. And they go in there and disc it every now and then. Now, 2 or 3 weeks before we went, somebody found a pretty good-sized diamond. We dug for an hour. You know, with these, I was just digging a hole. I got a hole about that big. This is a cool rock. Yeah, I'll put it in the bucket. We had those 5-gallon buckets. We didn't find any diamonds, but we brought back some jasper rocks, and, you know, let's go with that. Where else have I had jasper rocks? These are $1 at the Dollar Tree. These will be good to take them outside and play with. One of the things we're going to do the last day is we're going to have sand brought in, and we're going to hide jewels and those little medallions that I'll show you in a second. Things that would be like treasures to find. This is a book we found, and I know crafts, we don't always need books and all that, but sometimes the craft takes Johnny 10 minutes and it takes her 20 minutes, because I only have 20 minutes from the time they come into the door, they do the craft, and they leave. It's 20 minutes. So if they hurry through, then sometimes somebody's over there reading with them or singing with them or doing something with them. So this would be something like you could use in crafts. For when you finish the crafts, someone could start reading it and read ever how far they can today, and maybe Wednesday they get to read again, and then they may not get to read anymore. But it would be something to fill time, because if you don't have something for them to do, they will make something. I've experienced that too. This is something that Lifeway offers. It's a tool kit, and it's like if you want to go brush off real rocks and that kind of thing, but they offer that. It's not something that we all will be using, but this is something they offer. It's a little bag of tokens, and the tokens you give the kids 1 per day, and this is something I would make them leave there, or I would give it to them on Friday. It's a token and the truth for each day. And it has a little bag that they go in, so it's kind of a gift for them coming to Bible school all week or whatever, however you want to use it. There's another one. This is more authentic. It has the mud from where I dug. I'll tell you somewhere else that we went. It was close to Murfreesboro. Was a little Indian where they had artifacts, a little Indian village. And they have, where they found a burial ground, and they've gone in and excavated stuff and made molds and put the bones back where they were and that kind of stuff. The coolest thing they had, you could buy a bucket of sand that had jewels in it. And they guaranteed a diamond would be in there, but it was in a little hockey puck looking little plastic thing. We were to not open that because we might make it go everywhere, so they had to open it. But this other was a bucket of sand, and you poured it in this little strainer, and they had running water, and my 3-year-old and I was going through, and we were getting the big chunks out. And they had all kinds of polished rocks. They had a shark's tooth, arrowheads. They had all kinds of cool stuff. Much more rewarding than going to the diamond mine. But, you could do that with the kids. They could have sand, and even sand like we had in the little deal a while ago. Just let them dig and find sand. This is something similar. I saw that you could put pieces in to help them identify. And again, in crafts, you're not think you're going to have this much time, but this could be over against the wall that you're not really using. You could have some pottery in one, some jewels in one now, polished rocks, all those kind of things. But these are just some kind of containers that you could put them in. I have some smaller containers like this. All of this came from the Dollar Tree. All of it came from the Dollar Tree. And these are even some little bottles. But even if you put colored water and just a little rock in these, it makes them look more authentic. But always put a label on them. I did have some labels. Some kind of label. All the boxes I saw, at that lab. They had where they found it, what day they found it, what they thought it was, what color it was, how much it weighed, statistically. But you don't have to do that. But just have a label where it will give them a little information. One other thing. That's two other things. Okay, this was, I just told you about those. Okay, I have some medallions. Here we go. Medallions. These would be good for them to dig and find. The jewels, the place that I found gives you the best deal on them is Porch School Supply, Oklahoma City. You can Google that. Very sweet family owns that. It's second and third generation running it now. She's a retired school teacher. They're great Christian people. I called her and I said, okay, Ina, I've not talked to her since 2012 because I retired at 2012. She said, oh, this is a name from the past, but she recognized me. They have natural colored crayons because if you're going to do any of the artifact stuff, you're going to have different colors of brown, shades of brown. And she said she has them. She's got a 16 pack, but she has the jewels that she has twice as many as Hobby Lobby does for about the same price. So she does still have those. This is something that is, you grow crystals. I know I had these things when I was growing up. They were called magic rocks. You put them in water and there's some solution you put on them and they grow. They were really bright colors and they grow like stems up. This is kind of that same idea. It's crystallizes on the rock and you put the little chemicals in here and it makes it grow. So it'd be kind of something cool if they've come all week, if they brought a friend, if you're having any kind of contest, know your memory verse, these would be good. They're $1 a piece, but I think if they can memorize all 5 scriptures, I'll buy them $1 a piece. So that is some finds I found at the Dollar Tree. This is something else I found at the Dollar Tree. I actually saw some of these. They were much larger in that lab, but this was actually authentic. Now, if you want to do something craft for the kids, they could decorate this and have something to put stuff in. Kids have always got stuff, so they need something to put their stuff in. That is about all I have. I hope you have a great Vacation Bible School, and I hope some helpful hints have come your way, and you have a wonderful time at your Bible school and enjoy it because, last year most of us didn't get to have it. So hopefully this year we'll get to have it, and we'll all have a great Vacation Bible School.